Abdur Rahim Khan from Free IT Education. If you are interested what function is in Python and how it works, so this lecture is for you. Before you continue to this lecture, watch my first lecture, my first lesson before you can understand this lecture. Okay, let's start. So in our first lecture, we learn a basic about function. In this lecture, we're gonna learn if we're gonna pass some argument in a form of key and a value pair. So which means that this is a child one, which is like a variable, and then this is a value. So child one is equal to ML, child two is Tobias, and child three is Linus. So what we doing, so we are passing these variable is not necessary in the same order. You can pass them in any order like child 2, child 1, child 3, or child 2, child 3, child 1, whatever way you want it. And if you want to get the value of any particular argument, so these are arguments, so then you just uh, pass on that argument, and this is a concatenation sign, or to combine this text with this. And in this function, when we call it, we passing three key value pair, which is coming here, and then we are just printing child 3. uh, and here you can see the result, the young child is Linus. Okay, so in the previous lecture we learned like three arguments. So now we're not sure like how many arguments, so then we will be keep putting in all these arguments, so it's very uh, hectic or very difficult task. So in order to make this function journal, so which means that doesn't matter how many key value pair you pass in, I will just refer to the key and I will get the value of that. Let's say if I want to pass it first name, last name, and then I would say country, and I would write it UK, and I pass. So these are now three. So in the first case, without these changes, it will print the last name, which is refsness, which means this one here. So we just refer the this variable name, which is like the argument, and these followed by these. This is the magic things, double static, which you can get from Shift and 8 on your keyboard. Okay, so if we rerun that, and now it will print at the same thing. But if we are interested to print it, let's say our key is country, and run it, and it should give us a UK there. And as you can see, that his last name is UK, which not the right, but just for understanding. Okay, next thing we're gonna learn is you remember in the first lecture, if you have not watched it, watch that first before you can continue into that. So here is a function which has got three argument, is three strings value. In the first lecture we just got three arguments here, but if you are not sure how many values it will be passed, maybe pass 2, maybe pass 3, maybe pass 4 or 5, in order to catch as many as you like, you just put a star, and then followed by the keyword, which is the variable or the input name. So in this case, you can keep it anything like kids. Here is about a kids, so it's a kids. So the only difference between this one and the previous one is because in for double star is a key value pair, and for this one is not a key value, just a value, and we refer it by following the argument, the kid's name, and followed by this bracket, which is just a kind of a list, and you just say 0 1 2. I'm interested to see the value of 2, and here you can see that, and is value 2 here. Okay, um, so the next one we are interested in to see is the uh, here is a function. In this function, what we are doing, we are saying that if any argument is passed, pass it, and then print that one which whatever is passed. If no value is passed, then we are saying that by default, if no value is passed, the country is equal to Norway. Okay, so in when we call this function 4 times, in the first time it will print Sweden, the second time it will print India, the third time it will print Norway, because I pass null, nothing, and then the fourth time it will print Brazil. And here you can see that I'm from Sweden, India, Norway, and Brazil. Okay, this is interesting one. So here is a function, and in this function you can see that this fruits is basically a list. So we are passing a list into the function. So how this will work, so you are getting this fruits into this variable, which is the argument, and then you are running a for loop, which we did a lecture about a for loop. Watch that lecture to learn about the for loop. So we are saying that in that list, pass on one element at a time and print it. And here you can see that it is printing apple, banana, and cherry. And if you want to add one more, so rerun that, and that should give you 4 element. So you can pass as many as you like, and you pass the list as an argument, and it should print one all the values. Okay, so this is very, very interesting. So we want to say that we create a function which will be any value you pass, it will times by 5. So let's say uh, my function is time by 5. Okay, so we do that, and we created this one, this one. So we will update this function, we call it times by 5. So what we are doing here, so we're saying that print, but before printing, call this function and then pass this value which comes here, and then it says this is another interesting thing you need learning is called return, which is saying that times by 5, so which returns 5 times the variable, which is 3, and it is saying 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 5 is 25, 5 times 9 is 45. So if you run that, so what will happen, it will just give you 15, 25, and 45. So this is the magic. So you can do a times table with the help of this. I hope this has been informative and you have followed the instruction. If you like this video, give a like and share with your friend and subscribe to Free IT Education. See you in the next lecture. Bye for now.